Several opposition parties will picket at the Public Protector's offices in Tshwane on Friday, and it's over President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala Phala farm saga. The parties include the EFF, UDM, ATM, COPE and ACDP. They're calling for the acting Public Protector, Kholeka Gcaleka, to release the report on Phala Phala. Let's get more now on this, and we're joined by the UDM's Deputy President, Nqabayomzi Kwankwa. Mr. Kwankwa, thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with the aim of this protest. What do you plan to achieve with it?
No, obviously, it's to create public awareness, first and foremost, and to also put pressure on the Office of the Public Protector to release the report with immediate effect. Remember, in terms of the Executive Members Ethics Act, number 82 of 1998, it's clear, Section 3, that she has 30 days. I think it's Section 3.2 that outlines the process that it's 30 days that she has to release a report. If she cannot meet the deadline, then she must release another report. But now it's almost 90 days later. There is no report, there's nothing, there's just complete silence. All that we keep hearing from the Office of the Public Protector is that the whole matter is work in progress. I'm sure many of you have had the privilege of seeing the communication, especially between the President of the ATM, Honorable Zungula, and the Office of the Public Protector, where he was citing precisely these issues, saying, you've missed your deadline, what is the point, what is the issue, and we don't seem to be getting any concrete responses. So we will want to go and picket there and say, we demand the release of the report on this particular matter so that we can be able to move forward and decide how we want to deal with the process and how we want to hold the President to account. You
may not have said it in words, but based on what you've said exactly right now, you're sounding very suspicious. Are you suspicious of the Public Protector's office in how she's handling this matter?
No, we are becoming. At first, we were not suspicious. Remember, I think we're fair to a large extent to the Office of the Public Protector. We gave ample time to actually deal with this matter and to release, even if it's a preliminary report. But now, almost 90 days later, you are bound to be suspicious. That there is no will on the part of the Public Protector to release the report right now. And we want to make sure that it is released to the public so that we can make up our minds as to what we want to do with it.
There does appear to have been a leak, if you would want to call it that. The EFF, not so long ago, issuing a statement suggesting that there does seem to be an admission that there was an amount of around 8 million rand that could have been there. Are you aware of that, and have you made any attempts to verify that with the Office of the Public Protector? And if indeed that figure is correct, what does that tell us about this whole saga?
Well, remember, the status of a leaked document is a bit problematic. We're aware of the leak. We saw and read about the leak in the media, but we have made no attempts to actually try and verify that, because we might just be accused of trying to interfere with the work of the Public Protector. What we are going to do is to continue to say there is this leak. There's more information that's going to be available in the public domain, I'm sure, about this saga. And the Public Protector then will put herself on the back foot, because by the time she releases the report, most of the information will already be available in the public domain, but most of it will be lacking official status. The issue for us is to say the Office of the Public Protector must do what is expected of her in terms of the law. And if she is experiencing challenges, then she needs to take the nation into confidence. It might very well be that the President has not accounted fully about some of her questions, but we need to know that. Look, for instance, the President kept on misleading Parliament, saying that he was accounting to various institutions of the country, but we discovered that he did not even answer a question to the South African Reserve Bank. SARS has actually gone completely quiet or silent on the question. You have the Hawks that have not indicated whether they're investigating or not investigating the matter. And now the only office currently that has been, where a complaint has been lodged, and that has confirmed that it's dealing with this matter, and that is expected in terms of the law to release a report, is the Office of the Public Protector. And we're expecting her to comply with the same legislations that bind her office, that give her the constitutional mandate which she discharges on a daily basis. But we can't do so. We can't find ourselves with a Public Protector that discharges a constitutional mandate selectively.
Mr. Kwankwa, I suppose perhaps the final question from me to you It has to do with the head of state being mired in such a controversy. If we are to go with the statement of the EFF, for example, they are quite emphatic based on the leak that they say they have received around these monies, that the president, quote unquote, is engaged in money laundering. Now, I'm asking you the question about a head of state mired in such a controversy when the country is in danger of being grey-listed when it comes to dealing with exactly the same issues of corruption and money laundering. Do you think, as a country, we can avoid being placed on that grey list?
We have to hold him to account. The only way we can do that is by cleaning up the mess that the African National Congress government has created in South Africa in terms of governance and corruption in the country. But if you have a head of state, I mean, these allegations are very weighty against any sitting head of state. We have to make sure that the president is held to account. If indeed is found to be guilty of having conducted misconduct with regards to money laundering and tax evasion, then he must be held accountable. We must throw the book at him, remove him firstly as the president, and make sure that he faces the full might of the law. It's as simple as that. The Constitution states it clearly that we will all be equal before the law. And that's what we must do to the president. He has to lead by example. If he can't lead by example, then he must step aside so that we get someone who can for the best interests of the country.
Let me sway your attention away from this matter, Mr. Kwankwa, and talk about the shenanigans, because perhaps that's how we should define them. I'm not sure how else to characterize it. The goings-on at the Johannesburg Council, the UDM, is part of the coalition government here, and the question has to do with whether or not your council member in this city was mandated by your party to vote in favor of the removal of the speaker. And if not, is there action being taken against your member?
No, there's no action being taken against our member. For one simple reason is that we're not part of the coalition government per se in Johannesburg. Our member was asked because of a vast experience to chair MPEC. Because of the challenge that the coalition government was facing there. We have for the longest period been asking our coalition partners to say, let's sit around and formalize this arrangement so that it's not on an ad hoc basis. It's not because the coalition required her expertise and experience, wealth of experience in chairing MPEC, right? We've been asking our opposition colleagues saying, let us come together and formalize this arrangement. Remember, we still have an outstanding issue even at the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, where we used to work with sister opposition parties there. But that has not been formalized. So we are not going to force Mrs. Nonthenjwa on the basis of a loose arrangement to leave her caucus, opposition caucus, currently in smaller parties and other parties that she has been working with for a long time, simply because we have an arrangement that has not been formalized at the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. So, because she understands the dynamics, the political dynamics at the Metro, we are advised and guided by her with respect to the decision that needed to be made. In other words, we're a democratic party. Also, she had to consult, obviously, the PEC of a province, including a regional structure. Once that process had been undertaken, we couldn't then say as the party we are going to force you to vote in a particular way. Remember, we're the ones who actually took the Speaker of Parliament in 2017, saying that members of Parliament and public representatives would be allowed to vote on the basis of their conscience. And that's exactly what she did, based on the information and the evidence that was available before her. So there's no reason for us to sanction her at all.
All right. So here's the final question to you then. In short, you are in favor of this speaker having been removed through that motion of no confidence. But your member, if my memory serves me well, at the start of this week, she was part of that media briefing where it was made clear that the Democratic Alliance saying that the ANC is going to be brought through the back door to take over the city of Johannesburg again, well, actually, it is going to be brought through the front door, just as how the Democratic Alliance was brought through the front door to lead this municipality. Is that the message from the UDM at National, that the ANC, at least in Johannesburg, will be brought through the front door to take back the city? The very same party that you're saying has failed in governance.
Well, I mean, just before the elections, even now we're in coalition government with the African National Congress in Port Elizabeth. Parties work with one another on the basis of a political program that they've agreed upon in all municipalities, and the dynamics at municipality are completely different. Yes, you must agree that the ANC might have failed in some respects, but if we have a program that you agree upon with the African National Congress in a specific municipality, and we agree that we are going to hold each other to account and make sure that we improve service delivery, why not? Why not? Especially if we have not managed to formalize a coalition arrangement or agreement with other sister opposition parties. We're not going to be held to ransom because of that.
You're angry with the DA, aren't you?
No, we're not. We're not. But the fact of the matter is we're not angry with the Democratic Alliance. We work with them on a daily basis, even here in Parliament. As the UDM, we don't beat around the bush. We actually state the truth the way it is. The fact of the matter is there needs to be the coming together of political parties, especially opposition parties, to discuss this question of opposition coalitions and how we're going to deal with them. We can't discuss the program of the opposition parties on an ad hoc basis, issue by issue basis. In fact, in some of the instances, I'm sure you've picked up that the DA is not part of some of the initiatives. No, we're not holding that against them. The initiatives of the opposition collective, but it would be great if we could have a discussion about how we want to take the agenda of the opposition going to 2024 instead of dealing with it on an ad hoc basis.
Mr. Nqabayomzi Kwankwa, thank you very much for your time.